and hi Rachel. In this video, I'm going to be doing a freestyle reading just to show you how it can work. Sometimes it happens that you want to do a reading for someone else or for yourself, but you're not sure what the question is or what the topic should be. And in these situations, I like to do a freestyle reading. And in this particular situation, we are going to find one card that is going to be the significator. And I'm actually looking for the Magician card because this is the card that came up for Rachel this month in her monthly one card reading. And I know, Rachel, that you are going through a lot right now, and it's mostly positive as far as I can tell based on the cards that we've been drawing lately. The Magician is about realizing your dreams and externalizing your internal world. So it's a little bit like doing magic. It's exerting your will over your environment or by way of manifesting, by way of creativity and creating better circumstances for yourself. So we take this card as a significator, and I'm going to draw another card to give us a clue on what direction we should be going with this. So what exactly is the question or the topic that we need to talk about in this reading? So let me shuffle the cards. And so we're actually going to try to merge the meanings of these two cards, and then I'm going to continue with the reading. So let's see what the combination of these two cards tells us. So we have the Four of Swords and the Magician. So the first thing that comes to my mind is the topic of doing by non-doing. It's this philosophical concept of the Tao. And the Tao cannot really be defined. It's something that if you try to pinpoint it, it's not going to be what it is anymore, because its essence is that it is undefinable. But there's this concept of creating via non-doing. And it's kind of a tricky thing to wrap your head around, because we're so used to making things that are, or making changes and trying to be productive in a practical way, that it's almost unimaginable for us that we can create something, or we can change our flow of consciousness, that we can change the course of our life by non-doing, by not doing a thing, by not taking any sort of action that has a specific intent behind it, an intent that would originate from the individual, from the ego. So this is the topic of our reading now, Rachel. Let's see how we can connect this to your life right now. It's really even hard to talk about, and I'm not sure if I'm making any sense right now, but I hope I am. It's kind of an interesting topic, and well, the Four of Swords, just to tell you a little more about why I even started explaining this concept, is the Four of Swords, first of all, connected to the element of air, so the mind, and the number 4 is a number of stability, and it's inactivity, passivity, non-action, non-doing. It's even called truce. So it's a kind of peace, but without the relief. So it's a very neutral, it's a very non-emotionally charged word, truce. It just means a cease of activity. And so this card, combined with the Magician, is telling me that the best way to move forward in your situation is to not even move forward, which sounds like a bit of a contradiction, but we're gonna see how it even plays out in this reading. So what seems to be the problem? Let's have a look. We have a reversed card. We have the Six of Swords in reverse. So the Six of Swords upright would speak to a necessary change of perspective. It would indicate a new paradigm rising, a new direction that you're taking intellectually. However, we have it in reverse, so there's some struggle that I'm sensing here, and all of this is very abstract. All of this is not even directly related to the tangible external world. So the struggle is trying to put something into perspective that is making you feel stuck. So there's a level of powerlessness. There's analysis paralysis here that you're experiencing, Rachel. Perhaps a writer's block. I know that you are a creative person, someone who writes, and you are also a teacher. So it's very important that your mind is active and that ideas and your imagination is flowing freely and smoothly. And we're seeing a blockage here. You seem to be blocked by an inability to change your perspective, to look at your situation differently. Okay, let's see what the next revelation is. So I'm not even trying to designate a meaning or a function to the cards that are coming up next, because I just feel like it's a better course of action for us right now to just go with the flow and see what the cards would like you to know. Another reverse card. We have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Now this is the first card in this sequence of cards that is based in physical reality. And this is a card of material stability. So these 10 pentacles, they represent a safety net, a structure, a scaffolding in your life that is keeping you safe and protected. And having this in reverse is suggesting to me that something around the familiar structures that are keeping you protected on a material level. So a safety net of some kind, a job, a regular source of income. So something that was kind of like a crutch or the scaffolding of your life is crumbling around you. It's not as dramatic or severe as it would be with the Tower card. So it's not that drastic of a change, but it's definitely something that you need to be aware of and that you need to just acknowledge, I think, is what's going on here. Okay, let's see the next card. Another reverse card, and that's the 3 of Cups in reverse. So there's not only a loss of revenue in some sense, or a loss of a safety net, there's also a loss of connection with people around you, because the 3 of Cups upright would indicate a good social connection, social gathering, networking, just being around people and enjoying it. Perhaps you're finding that you're enjoying spending time alone a lot more than just talking to other people. So you're a little more aloof than usual, and you're finding it maybe hard to connect with others on a meaningful level. So I want to draw one last card, and I want it to be like a resolution to all of this, because I can see how there's all of these different factors just kind of pushing against you. So there's your will, your individual willpower, what you want out of life, and life pushing against you on multiple levels. So let's see what the resolution is. Oh my God. It's the Tower. It's funny that I mentioned the Tower. Well, here's the thing, Rachel. It seems like whatever is happening right now, this unraveling of these different problems or issues or whatever you want to call them, it's going to lead to an unraveling and a more drastic rearrangement of your life. That sounded very diplomatic, but you know what I mean. I think you do. The Tower is a major arcana card, and it is about the universe's way of destroying whatever we are overly attached to in an attempt to liberate us from the shackles of the ego. So it is not a pleasant thing for the most part. It's usually quite sudden and ruthless, the changes that the Tower card represents. But it is for the best, and it is actually an agent of freedom. The Tower is a messenger of hope, but there's a lot of darkness in the Tower card because it represents our dreams and our hopes crumbling. So actually, I think you're already doing this work, this manifesting, this doing by non-doing. Your being, your soul is already creating these waves of transformation that you want to see happen in your life on a subconscious level. And it's showing up in all these smaller things, some conflict with people around you on an emotional level, financial difficulties or material insecurities, the inability to think outside the box. So all these little signals are building up to a Tower moment, a realization that what you've been doing cannot go on the same way that it did before. And that's quite a scary thing, actually, because it reaches to the depths and the core of our egos. When we find out that, for example, we have been fired or we have lost a relationship, perhaps something that we thought to be true about ourselves turns out to be not true at all. So it's these moments that shake us to the core of our being and make us question our very identity and our role in this life. But as a matter of fact, these moments have the biggest potential to wake us up, to generate enough stress and enough trauma for our souls to recognize that we are living in an illusory world and that our attachments are basically keeping us enslaved, that they are holding us back. So freedom awaits you, Rachel, but it's going to be a rocky road, and you will most likely need to start from scratch. Whatever you think you have been building up until this point is going to be reevaluated by you in this process, and you will find that you need to start anew, that you need to start fresh. So yeah, it's an exciting path, but I'm not gonna lie to you, it doesn't look easy. But I'm just reminded of this video that I've seen recently. There was a girl, I think her name was Paige. She got attacked by a shark in Northern America, I think, or somewhere around California, I think, or something like that. She went to the beach with her family, and a shark attacked her out of nowhere. She lost her leg and her arms, but if you watch the video, and I highly recommend that you do because it's beautiful. If you watch the video and listen to her, there's just something unbeatable about her. There's something so vibrant and resilient about her spirit. And she says this one thing about hardships. And what she said, I'm paraphrasing here, but I think the gist of what she was saying was, yeah, it's going to be hard. I know that my life is not going to be the same. It's going to be hard, but we do things because they are hard. Isn't that true? Like, otherwise, what's the point? So I think that was a very beautiful, elevating moment in that interview. And it just illuminated my consciousness for a moment. And that's coming from a 17-year-old girl. So that's very, very exciting when you see young people manifest such wisdom. And that's just evidence for me that it seems like evidence that there's this deeper wisdom within all of us that can come to the surface every now and then if we allow it. Or if the circumstances with the tower, for example, her life, this shark attack was the quintessential tower moment for her. And it happens to all of us time and time again. So there's this cycle of meeting the tower throughout our lifetime many, many times. And of course, some encounter the tower at the worst and most brutal, manifestation of it. So a shark attack, an accident, something that leaves you a totally different person, is something brutal that belongs to the spectrum of the tower. But not all manifestations of the tower are like that. But the essence of it is the same. It forces you to reevaluate your life. But then again, in the words of Paige, why would we do anything at all? We do things because they are hard, because they are a challenge. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading, Rachel, or that you could take something away from it. Thank you to everybody else who decided to stick around and watch this video. And I wish you all the best.